inside of me, in a world I don't wanna say. Just the same damn thing. What's your height, what's your age, what's the price of your way?
The new year is here. I am another year older, still navigating my 20s, embracing myself for another year of growth, challenges, and opportunities. While I'm excited for what's to come, I'll be lying if I didn't feel a bit of that familiar anxiety about getting older, the unknown, and juggling even more on my plate. The one thing that's become clear as I get older is that I want to feel like I'm in control. I want to feel like I can handle all the different parts of my life and show up as my best self in each of them. If I can juggle all of those things, whether it's my career, YouTube, personal life, or well-being, and actually find a balance that works, then it feels like a huge win to me. And I want to start off this video by sharing something a bit more personal, because for the first time this year I actually experienced New Year anxiety, and I feel like it's a combination of a few things. Maybe it's the fear of growing up, because I am literally turning 24 in 2 weeks, and also the constant thought of the break is over and I need to snap back into reality and get back to work. I think it's totally okay to feel this way.
Am I the only person who feels this way?
I don't want to linger on this because I know it won't change anything, and I'm better off to just embrace the new year with positivity and excitement. So yeah, we're going to be positive again about the new year, and I see the new year as almost like a blank page. It's a chance for us to try something new, do the things that we didn't get to do, and let go of the habits that no longer serve us. And a great way to kick things off is by reflecting on the past and setting goals for the future. And I know goal setting is a huge topic right now, and it's always a huge topic whenever the new year comes around, but it's to create system and not goals. I actually first heard of this phrase a few years ago, and I was so confused when I first heard of it. Younger me was like,
what does that mean?
are you telling me right now that I'm not supposed to set goals? But I'm used to setting goals, and I like to set goals every year so that I know what I am working towards. And then I realized that it doesn't mean that we shouldn't set goals, but to really emphasize the idea on how we can achieve those goals. So in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how we can create a simple system in Notion to set ourselves up for success in 2025 in maybe less than 10 minutes. A big thank you to Notion for sponsoring today's video, and without further ado, let's get into it. So I use Notion to track my progress in different parts of my life, like studying, career, YouTube, personal finance, budgeting, travel, and so on. It is the all-in-one tool that you need to keep all your tasks, projects, and ideas in one place. The beauty of Notion is that it's fully customizable, and you can make it as simple or as complex as you want. The key is to create something that's very functional and visually motivating at the same time, that you actually want to stick with it. And I also want to take this time to mention that Notion has just launched a new feature called Notion Face in 2025. This is where you can customize your self-portrait and bring your personality to life in your Notion workspace. I had so much fun customizing my own self-portrait. You can literally mix and match facial features, hairstyles, and accessories to create your own custom avatar. And here's mine. So if you're new to Notion, you can use my sign up link in the description box down below, and I also link my template and any other templates that I found useful that I personally added to my Notion workspace in 2025 down below as well. So make sure to go check them out. They're all free to use and access. Without further ado, let's get on with the rest of our Notion tour. This is my Notion homepage. It's where I check in on all the different areas of my life that I'm trying to manage. As you can see, that I split everything into separate pages. Right now, I've got a page for my 2025 goals, which we'll get into shortly. Study, career, YouTube, personal finance, and travel. You can add any other categories that are relevant to you, like family, relationships, and any other things that fits into your life. But for me, I am
solo, and I'm just trying to get through my deadlines.
So this has been very helpful for me, especially when I'm managing a ton of deadlines. If I scroll down a little bit, here's my weekly overview. This is where I put in my to-do list for the day and reminders for the week. I also have a gratitude section where I jot down a few things that I am grateful for during the week. This is a great way for me to remind myself that I am blessed, and there's always something to be thankful for no matter how crazy life gets. And at the bottom, I also have my monthly calendar, which shows what my schedule looks like for the month. I actually haven't added all of my key dates and deadlines just yet for this month, but this is a visual reminder of how everything is coming together or not, and it helps me to plan ahead. So before we dive into goal setting, I think it's important for us to take a moment and reflect on the past year. What went well? What did we learn? I think for me, other than learning how to balance my personal and professional life better, I realized how important it is to take care of myself and not care about what other people think of me. As you can see that I have all my 2024 reflections on the left, and I have a couple of entries for things like the people or things that I'm grateful for, the best moments that made me feel happy or proud, what do I want to leave behind. So these are all the bad habits that I want to change, my lessons learned, which we have just talked about, my accomplishments in 2024, and honestly it doesn't have to be anything big because we all have wins, big or small. I think it's worth celebrating those, and let's give ourselves a pat on the back. Alrighty, so moving on to our 2025 goals. As you can see that I have already set a couple of goals. I am not going to go through each of my goals in detail because these are not relevant to you guys after all, but on a high level, I have set 6 yearly goals in total. So when setting goals, I like to take a step back and think about what really matters to me and what my priorities are. I've also had some goal planning prompts to guide my thinking and make sure that I am being intentional with the goals I'm setting. It's really important to take your time and deep dive with your thoughts in this process. Maybe for you, it's about learning how to prioritize yourself, starting a new job, or making a big change. Whatever it is, write them down and just keep it to yourself. I actually tried to limit myself to just one goal per category so I don't feel too overwhelmed by trying to do everything at once. And you can always add more goals after you have ticked some off from the boxes. And one fun thing you can do is to create a vision board for the year, which has really become a thing lately. And I actually never used to do a vision board before 2024, but I made my first vision board just before I started my channel last year. And looking back at it now, I actually manifested a lot of the things that I envisioned. So I think it's great to visualize where you want to be by the end of the year. The more specific you can get, the better, because it helps you know exactly what you're working towards and motivates you to take action. At the top of my planner, I have my 2025 mantra, which is just simply growth, balance, and joy. You can add quotes, pictures, or anything else that motivates you. I also included a reminder at the bottom about what the journey to achieving our goals looks like in reality. I actually found this image on Pinterest and I really like it because it reminds me again that life is never a straight line and we have to experience all these bumps along the way to get to our end goal. And at the bottom, I also put a reminder that every small step in the right direction counts, to remind myself that as long as we take small step at a time, we will eventually get there. So now I'm going to show you guys how we can actually achieve these goals. One of my favorite methods for setting goals is the SMART framework, which I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard of it before. It stands for specific, achievable,
SMART, realistic, achievable, and timely. Yay, we got it.
For example, one of my goals for 2025 is to sleep and wake up earlier. Instead of saying just sleep and wake up earlier, I've added by going to bed at 12 a.m. the latest and waking up around 6 a.m., which is simple, specific, and achievable. I have a drop-down button here that allows me to select the status, category, and the target completion date, which I actually split by quarters so that I can give myself at least 3 months to work on it. Personally, I like adding some sort of date or timeline next to my goals to keep myself accountable, but this is totally optional if you don't think it's necessary. And yeah, this is how the rest of my page looks like. I have a description of my goal, which we have just briefly talked about. And then I have the why I want to achieve it section, and this is important because it reminds you of why you set the goal and why you want to go in the first place. And then I also listed down some potential obstacles that I might face along the way, things like late night social events, YouTube deadlines, assignments, and then simply not being determined enough. Then I break it down even further with an action plan. So these are kind of like my solutions for overcoming those obstacles. Underneath, I list the habits that I want to build into my routine to gradually make that shift. I would highly recommend to create a to-do list of the tasks or habits like so to help you stay accountable, and it also feels satisfying and nice to be able to tick off those boxes. So what I've done is I've broken them down into smaller steps to make them more manageable. And then underneath the action plan, I also have a progress tracker. This is where I check in on my goals every month. This is one way to keep myself accountable and also celebrate the small milestones along the way. And in Notion, you can also add a reminder to review your goals and see how far you've come. And I also have a reflection section at the end, which allows me to write any thoughts or feelings I have after achieving or not achieving my goals. It's really okay if you don't achieve all of our goals, but I just want to mention that it's so important for us to enjoy the process and not to give too much pressure on ourselves. And finally, this is totally optional as well, but since I am a very visual person, I also like to add a picture or vision board that represents my goals. If you think having some visuals keep you motivated, then you can always go to Pinterest or Google to browse for some ideas or images that resonate with you, save them, and then add them next to your goals. Yeah, this is a great way as well to keep you motivated. As you guys can see that the skies has just gone dark and it is the evening right now, and I just want to say that I know this is very different from what I used to do. It's actually my first dedicated sit down video rather than my usual silly vlogs, but I really hope that this video can bring you more comfort and more confidence on how you can approach 2025 and life in general. I think having something like Notion is super important to help us stay organized and stay motivated, and the best part is Notion is completely free to use. And as someone who has been using Notion for a long time, and as a small creator who started my channel a year ago, I can't believe that I'm working with Notion for the new year, and this is actually pretty crazy to me. It's like a dream come true, and now I can say that in making this video itself has been my first step in trying something new and stepping out of my comfort zone in 2025. So now it's your turn. I believe that you guys can do all sorts of amazing things in life, and just remember that don't be too hard on yourself. Please comment oysters if you watch to the very end, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!